Is this Lewis?
It is. Is this Dr. Robert Weil?
The sports doctor is in.
Oh, I thought you were like a wild guy. Get it?
It depends on the injury.
Okay, so let's.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I am doing fine. Happy Halloween.
Thank you so much. But it's the devil's holiday. I don't observe Halloween. It's a devil's holiday, and
perished really. You perished the thought. It's for the kids.
That's right. Oh, by
Put up with them. Put up with them, Lewis.
By the way, anybody who's listening, if you're really fat or you're athletic or you don't ski, just go home and eat some candy. Because Dr. Weil, he's a muscular guy and he's got hair and he don't kid around. He's gonna help you how to. What are you gonna do?
Everything in moderation. It's all about two things, Lewis. Number one, prevent problems. And then number two, enhance performance. That should interest you. Aren't you a life coach?
Well, performance, so take more Viagra, you mean?
No, I'm talking...
You said improve performance. I heard you. Don't you backtrack on me, buddy.
Well, no, you see, there are two labels of those drugs. One is performance enhancing. The other is performance surviving.
This is a brave man, by the way. I told him I was going to make fun of him, but he came.
You did already. You started right in on me.
He came in already.
But I just taped my show, so I'm ready to dance with you.
All right. So let me ask you a question. So you're a sports doctor, right?
I am a sports podiatrist.
Right.
Yes.
So do you have 6-pack feet?
I like that. But the foot affects everything else, Lewis. So you could be singing the song, the foot bone's connected to the ankle bone, because half the females I see have knee trouble. So a lot of it's related.
By the way, let me ask you a question. Do you mind if I call you a chiropodist?
That name hasn't been around in such a long time.
Hey, I'm old. I'm 62 years old, man. I remember my years.
Yes. When the podiatry profession still trims corns and calluses, it's one of the few professions, Lewis, that someone can walk in very uncomfortable and walk out dancing. I don't know if you could give me another example.
I like that. I always thought about a podiatrist being really special because I always thought of all the professions in the medical field, I thought they were the bravest, because I remember back in the 70s, I used to take the number 2 train in Manhattan up in Harlem, and in the worst neighborhood in Harlem, there was that big sign, the podiatric school was there right in the middle of Harlem. So
matter of fact, when I went to school in Chicago, I wasn't even aware that there was a school of podiatry in New York. Absolutely, it would remind you of that. Or when I grew up on Long Island, Lewis, and they used to call it the route of the dashing commuter. And I would see women running for the train in their running shoes and sneakers, and they would be carrying their heels and dress shoes in a bag. And here we are, all these sports medicine years later, and it's the same scene.
Well, I got to tell you, I like you already because you mentioned my name a lot. You probably went to that radio talk show host Smooth School because you said my name 5 times.
They're listening in.
So listen, do me a favor. What is
Steve Harrison from that fantastic where I met you.
You're schmoozing him now. It ain't going to help you a bit. But here's the important thing.
I just think that it was an impressive array of professionals in every area. It was interesting.
I was there. They don't know about that. We met at the national media conference. But here's my question to you: is what is so I'm a guy going through my life. And maybe I've been to a chiropractor a couple times, got a push and pray, a rub and hope. I go to the doctor when I need a... Why would I go to a podiatrist?
Well, what I do, I specialize in orthotics, Lewis. So whether you're the best skater in the world... and the best
hard orthotics or soft orthotics?
I like the term flexible to rigid. I like something very flexible, but I like hard plastics. They last forever. And the current... present United States and the Olympic gold medal figure skater Evan Lysacek, who's trying to defend his title, I put those kinds of orthotics in his skates when he was a 10-year-old. So you might come to a podiatrist because you've got foot trouble, but you might also have postural problems. You might have arthritis in your knees.
Here's the important thing. People don't know what an orthotic is, so let's start there.
A lot do. That's one of the biggest challenges of my radio show, the sports doctor, is that.
My listeners don't know, but trust me, they know what corn is and what a cow's udder looks like.
I'll bet you, I'll send you the glass of wine from Chicago. I'll bet you minimum 75% of your audience knows what an orthotic is. They might not be able to tell you what it does.
Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. Hold on. Hey, hold on, Steve. What do you want? Oh, you know what an orthotic is? That a rock band? No, it's not a rock band, Steve. Is it a religious thing? No, it's not a religious thing. Why don't you tell us what an orthotic is? Steve don't know, and he's a pretty smart guy.
He's a smart guy, yes.
Tell me what an orthotic
to help
is.
support somebody.
So an orthotic is like it supports. So it's like Obama's welfare.
No, it's about alignment. It's about positioning. So the job of an orthotic is, imagine yourself again, if you're pushing off with a triple jump in figure skating, or if you're walking, if the foot's in the wrong position at the wrong time, then everything adapts. So an orthotic's job is to try to keep the joints in the most efficient position. And I went to visit my mom when I was there by you guys. My mom is 95 years old at assisted living in New Jersey.
Does she wear orthotics?
She still has orthotics in her shoes from the year 2000.
Hold on. I just got it. I got it. Hold on. An orthotic is something that goes in your shoe.
Now you're close.
Tell me more.
You got it. And you could be putting it in a sports shoe, which we do a lot, walkers and runners who have overuse problems. And many of them, again, are above the foot. That's the secret, Louis. But I'm confident that you and your how many listeners do you have?
Oh, 300,000, 400,000. Hold on. You put the orthotic on top of your foot, not underneath your foot?
Underneath your foot.
Oh, okay, because you said it's on top of.
Yeah, you put it in a shoe. You switch them from shoes to shoes. So you might run 10 miles in your flexible plastic orthotics.
Hold on. I might run 10 miles. Hold on a second.
I knew
it. Okay, I might not run 10 miles, but someone else might.
You know, I tell you this. I'm so lucky I'm on with you during Halloween, because a lot of my listeners and whatever, they could take this with a grain of salt, because you can't do anything that would be off the walls because it's Halloween.
Hold on. I need you to do me a favor, because I am not sure if I heard it correctly. You're not Dr. Bob that has his own radio show, are you?
That's me.
Where is that radio show, Bob?
You go to sportsdoctorradio.com.
There you go. That's sports.
And I have over 3 years of my weekly radio shows called The Sports Doctor.
There you go.
And we might talk about topics from choosing the best shoe to dealing with overuse injuries, parenting the child athlete. So sportsdoctorradio.com.
Hold on.
They can find all about it.
I have a tape of you right now. Hold on. Here's a tape of Dr. Bob teaching people how to parent your kid. Get in the corner, you little rat. You're the foul director. I'm going to smack you again if you don't behave yourself, and you won't be able to go to family court either. That's not you, is it? That's not a tape of you at all.
Is that the relative of Dance Mom I just heard?
Oh, I don't know about her. I don't have TV. Is she on TV, Dance Mom?
Yes. Oh. The idea of parenting the young athlete is to be positive, pay attention to what they do right,
Bobby, you
be enthusiastic, but don't be a critic.
Bobby, you're so talented. I know you're going to grow up one day and be a doctor. Gee, thanks, Mom. Something like that?
Or even better, I think you're going to get a scholarship. So
Ooh, I'm
going to overdo your training. I'm going to push you in order to, because you got a shot at the scholarship. That's something we pay a lot of attention to, because it leads to injuries in children who are being, the old Little League parent, Louis?
I wish I had a little.
Is that you?
I wish I had a little. No, they wouldn't even let me.
Are you still there, Louis?
I'm still here. I'm having flashbacks to my childhood. They wouldn't let me in the Little Leagues. It was really traumatic.
Did you? I understand you've written how many books?
Oh, it's about you, not me. We already love me.
All right, forget about you.
Let's talk about you. Hey, what do you think of me? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So, hold on. I want to put it all together. So, everybody, this is Dr. Robert Weil. He's a podiatrist.
Podiatrist, please.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
He's a sports podiatrist, which means he helps people maximize their athletic performance by looking at their posture, the placement of their feet, wearing correct footwear, and even when correct footwear cannot solve their problem, by creating different techniques and specialties, including orthotics, to help them maximize. How is that? Pretty good?
I like it.
Thank you.
Strengthening is always important. I like balance exercise and strengthening, but many times we're interested, again, in the ability to, most foot types are inherited, Louis. Yes. So if your mom had flat feet or bunions or was knock-kneed or
if your dad was a cop and they called him Flatfoot?
What Well, flat foot was a general term, but that's 80% of the people I see who have problems have pronated or excessively flat foot, and it affects the. I'm not saying your teeth are going to fall out, but it affects you all the way up the chain of command.
My
Louis.
teeth did fall out already, but anyway, that's okay.
Really?
So nice. So tell me more. Tell me more.
So the Sports Doctor radio show I've done for 2 decades.
I think you mentioned that you've done it for 2 decades. I think you mentioned that about 18 times.
Parents on, or we might have coaches on. We might have athletes on. You know, there's always something going on. You and I at the summit, we talked about drugs in sports. It's one of my big interests.
Yeah, we talked about me smoking a lot of pot in college. That was a different conversation I had with somebody else. I'm sorry.
No, exactly. But you were doing what you had to do or were pushed to do if you were a serious athlete. And there was these controversies with these drugs. So we talk about that a lot.
Hold on. Did you say if I was a serious athlete? Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. Okay, I'm back with you.
I hear you. And so it's all related, even your ability to maybe have a good time. And if you happen to be a walker or you're very, very serious. So we pay attention to that, and we're very topical. There's always something going on. Who did you like in the World Series, Louis?
That's like chess, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Because I would assume anybody in New York, there's nobody who roots for the Red Sox, is there?
Oh, the Red Sox on the road. I got to go home and eat some. Listen, everybody, if you're a boss, all my listeners.
Isn't this the sports show?
Hold on. If you're listening to my show and you want to have fun with kids tonight, since Boston won the World Series, give all the kids baked beans. I'm serious. Don't even put in candy. I mean, just like take their bag of candy and put a teaspoon of baked beans in their bag. Their parents will be happy when they get home.
They probably would.
There you go.
They probably would.
So go on.
Okay. So I'm also very interested and spent a lot of time in the area of childhood obesity. It's a gigantic problem.
What is that got to do with feet?
Because the heavier these kids are, the more we see foot trouble.
You ought to say fat kid, bad feet.
Fat kid, maybe painful feet or legs. So my article in my professional magazine was called Childhood Obesity and Podiatry. And it's about that, and these kids need to be more active to lose weight, but if their feet, ankles, and knees are hurting because they're heavy, it's working against us. So childhood obesity is a big deal, and so is adult obesity a big deal, and none of that helps the stress on your feet and legs.
Tell me more about feet and legs.
How'd that hit you, huh?
Hold on. Ow! Hit me fine. So question. So you work with feet and legs like ballet dancers with really big calves?
Yes. Sometimes, again, we'll see some of these prodigy sports are my passion. Like Evan Lysacek, the Olympic gold medalist. He's 28 years old, Louis, but he was 10 when I first saw him.
And with a name like that, I think he snuck across the border from Russia.
He's trying to sneak back.
See?
He's giving everything he's got to get back to Sochi, Russia.
I hope he's not gay. They'll put him in jail.
It's going to be a real ordeal, but he's got a shot. He's been fighting injury. So the Russian thing is big, Edwin.
Yeah, I knew a guy who was a Russian thing. It was big. Anyway, listen, question.
Hey, listen, Putin was ranked the most powerful guy in the world, wasn't he?
Who?
Vladimir Putin.
I got to get a TV. And
I got to get you to what? Yeah,
I got to get a TV, newspaper, listen to the radio. I mean,
listen to the sports stuff.
Listen, is the Monkeys a TV show? Is that still on TV or not? Because I haven't done it in a couple of years. Hey, with the Monkeys. Anyway, tell me more about feet.
Well, again, the feet affect everything. So I tell parents all the time, your audience, if they're active.
Hold on. I'm stopping you now. How do feet affect? And do me a favor, don't mention your radio show or your magazine when you answer this question.
Okay.
Tell me how feet affect everything.
Because the foot's first function is a shock absorber.
Tell me about that.
Every step we take, we generate about half our weight. You start moving or running or jogging, you could double or triple it, radio show. But as you do that, you affect the joints of the lower extremity.
Did you just say radio show?
No.
You're a sneaky little dog.
I didn't do it.
I love this guest.
If you have consistent postural distress, whether it's arthritis in your back, So the motion of the foot is complicated, and it allows our feet to shape to the ground. But very importantly, Louis, it allows us to push off.
So hold on. So you're saying, radio show, that you can hope to push off magazine. Yeah.
Yes. If your foot is not, it's called supinated, when your foot is in the lever position.
And it's got nothing to do with super sandwich.
Probably not.
Okay.
But think of yourself starting to bear weight and then pushing off. If the foot is not in the right position, you're jarring everything, and you're throwing things out of balance. This is where we're paying attention regarding alignment of the foot, but it's no less important if you're 85 years old and you've got, joint problems. Being in the best shoe makes sense. Are you still there, Louis?
What? Oh, hi, Dr. Robert Weil. Welcome to the show. Oh, yes, I'm here. I'm just making you laugh. You're a good guest. You're a funny guy putting up with me. What a funny guy.
This was as much fun as I thought it would be. It's been a real pleasure.
Well, the pleasure's all yours.
I know about your books and what you do. So
let's talk about me again. I'm successful.
You're right. Forget you.
Don't tell anybody I was a streetwalker back in the day, but at least I had orthotics.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, continue.
I like it. I like that very, very much.
That's the way you like it.
Now, again, in podiatry, seriously, we see many diabetics are seen first by foot specialists because they have symptoms. Their feet burn, their feet are hot, and the amputation rate is alarming, significant, and scary. So people need to pay attention.
Just the thought of that
feet.
Foot amputation. The freaking hold on! I need to check the audience.
I only mention that because it happens to be the Halloween time of year.
Hold on! I want to see how the audience is doing, folks. You like this interview? All right. Keep it down. We know you like. All right. The audience likes you so far. You're doing fine. Listen, I'm going to be back in 30 seconds.
Let me tell you this.
Hold on. Tell me this. Hold on. I know the listeners on your radio show as well as the magazine you publish. Come back and stay there for
I don't have a magazine. Can you get one for me?
Stay here yes, I can get you a Look magazine or Playboy. Stay there for 1 second. I need to play some of my friends here. Be right back. Don't say a word.
Hey, folks, this is Montgomery Delaney. I've been all around this country, every part of this nation. WIOX is my favorite radio station. That's 91.3 Community Radio. Keep your dial right where it is.
WIOX is supported by Peekamoose Restaurant on Route 28 in Big Indian. Peekamoose features farmhouse cuisine prepared with locally grown ingredients and an extensive wine and beer list. The Tap Room at Peekamoose features grass-fed burgers on fresh-baked brioche with beer-battered onion rings. Learn more at peekamoose.com or 845-254-6500.
And I'm here with Robert Weil, the sports doctor, sports podiatrist, and he's going to help your feet stop hurting. And if you don't behave yourself, you eat too much sugar, you got diabetes, he's going to cut your foot off. Anyway, hey, Doc. How you doing? I'm
good. I enjoyed the music on the break.
And I got to tell you, the audience loves you. They do. They just think I can't stop them. There's a line outside. Okay, all right. Keep it down. Let's get down to some more information, Doctor. Boy, you can't stop this crowd. Their feet hurt. So tell me more. Educate my audience more about their feet.
I think that the challenge, for example, a lot of your audience are women and girls. So my recent article called Surviving High Heels, Accepting the Challenge, is about actually training for high heels. Posturally, it's brutal on the knees and back and the rest of the body. So sometimes we're talking about educating these young girls that they have to pay attention to not living in some of the aggressively high heels, mix it up, try to make sure that they're doing some sort of strengthening exercises for their feet and ankles. They could be balancing on those BOSU boards or using rubber bands, and the idea of also knowing what type of shoe might be comfortable. And that's no different if you're a walker or you're a runner. and you're looking to, what's the best shoe for me? So go to a place that's reputable, that can measure you well. Go to a place, if you've had good success in the past with what you're running or walking in, then you could stick with it. The running shoe, walking shoe industry is like cars. They change types all the time. So I have patients all the time who say, Dr. Weil, I really like that past shoe at New Balance. Now they changed it. So shoes are key, but they are still wearing apparel. So they don't solve necessarily our problems. And again, if you have sons and daughters out there who are complaining, my shins hurt, or, my feet hurt, my knees are bothering me with my sports.
Now, you said shin, right? That's SHIN, correct? I'm just checking. Okay, I'm just checking. Hold on, I got a call coming in for you. Hold on. Who's this? Hi, Dr. Bob. I'm Sally. I'm a transvestite, and I need high heels. How can I be a transvestite and have high heels without hurting my feet? I'm 6'2", by the way, if that matters, and my heels are 3 to 4 inches high.
Number one, don't be discriminatory regarding the type of shoe you might be in or what you might wear color-wise or et cetera. And you got to pay attention to comfort, whether you're 6'2" or 7'3". So if you see that you can get into something in the toe area that is just not that cramping, and then you have to try to pay. You might need some pads, and but it sounds like you've had a head start.
I actually wear pants, and my girlfriend is 7'3". Well, I appreciate you answering my question.
We can help you.
You see, this guy can help anybody. Transvestites, ballet dancers. Give me some phone numbers of ballet dancers. And he also can work with athletes, including Russian ones who are swimming across the Baltic Sea to get back to Russia. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Get back to Sochi.
That's right. Tell me more. Tell me more.
So, again, if we're talking to our senior population, and many times we'll see there might be diabetics and others who really need help even clipping their toenails and cutting their toenails. Podiatry has done that. In sports medicine, we're also looking a lot at exercise.
I'm just getting an image. I mean, I'm 62. I'm almost an old. I'm getting an image of an old person with one leg clipping the toenails on their. Oh man! On Halloween, that is a frightening.
Yeah.
image,
What if he says, my back's been real stiff. I can't reach him. So we might see that person, Medicare person, maybe every few months. But the new science of paying attention to falling, to keeping our real seniors with falling, is the same science as we're talking about doing triple jumps or running and jumping.
Hold on. Important question. How about getting up? Is that a different science? So, there's two specialties in sports podiatry. I've fallen, and another specialty, I can't get up.
Well, you're in trouble. You got to wear one of those life alerts. You should always pay attention to that. Don't get caught without being able to communicate with somebody, if it's your parents or other kinds of seniors. But the kind of shoe they wear is very, very important for them to prevent falling. And you might make them a step or two quicker, Lewis.
Now, here's the question. As you mentioned my name again.
I'm ready.
I love this guy. This is my name over and over.
I sent you 2 letters already, Lewis.
Did you?
Yeah.
Which letters? A and D?
You'll see when they arrive.
Somebody sent me 3 letters yesterday. A, D, D. Anyway, so the question is this. So how should everybody see a podiatrist? Like, you go to your regular doctor. Should everybody see a podiatrist?
Yes. Now that we know the effects of the feet besides the feet themselves, then I think it makes sense to at least know your foot type and what might be the best shoe style for you. For your athletic shoe is a big step up. And, I've had a lot of people on my show talk about fitting shoes, and 75 to 80% of people are ill fit for shoes.
How many foot types are there? I have the kind of foot that attaches to my ankle, and I got a right one, I got a left one. That's 4 types.
Well, having 2 left feet. What was that movie?
My left foot, yes.
That's the show.
That's
right. If you got 2 left feet like Levy, then you got a problem. But other than that, for the most part, it's high arches or very flat feet are 2 real generalizations of quote-unquote foot type, Lewis?
Well, high arches are kind of
Radio
sexy.
show.
But
What?
high arches are kind of sexy on a woman if they got big calves. Like
They can be. You know, most ladies' high fashion heels have been designed by men all these years.
Mostly gay men.
But men don't have to wear them.
Mostly gay men. But no disrespect to gay men. Here's a question.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, like Seinfeld said.
Let me ask you a question.
What?
Does someone have to have a foot fetish to want to become a podiatrist?
No. They might have a respect for that, although I wouldn't rule it out.
That would be. Could you imagine actually having a foot fetish and being disciplined enough to get through 4, 5, or 6 years of podiatry school, and all day long you get to be around feet? Oh, I'm getting excited just thinking about this.
I'll look up and see some of the remarks of some of my colleagues, and we'll get back to you.
Oh, especially that guy Bob. Oh, I saw a size 12 yesterday. Anyway, tell me more about what people can do what they're going to do.
So again, you would be surprised that about 75-85% of our population
75
has foot-related problems.
75 or 80%? Ah,
Yes.
I'm surprised.
And that's not counting how many people who might have one leg slightly longer or shorter than the other.
Oh, talk about that. That's sacrum stuff. Do you bang on people's
Are you
sacrums?
looking in the mirror now?
Oh, hold on, let me look in the mirror.
Are your knees the same height?
Hold on. How would I see my knees if I'm looking in the mirror? I'd see my face if I was looking in the mirror.
Well, I thought you had a full length. They told me at your big-time radio show that you have a full-length mirror.
Only after
So, right. But those kinds of things are important, and the more athletic somebody's looking to be, and again on the semi-serious side, when we're talking about youngsters and growing youngsters, this is a big deal. When we're talking about body type, are you very flexible? Are you loose-jointed? So physical therapy, chiropractic, sports podiatry. We also pay a lot of attention to the mental side, perish the thought, Lewis, on the sports doctor. We talk a lot about the sports psychology and the importance of...
I had a friend who was a sports psychologist, a sports podiatrist, and if you came in his place... And,
you get mixed up with the letters.
Well,
sports pediatrician.
A sports pediatrician. He was he was a sports podiatrist.
Right.
And he would just kick you in the butt.
Yes, but if he was a sports psychologist, he would explain to you why he did it.
Ah, good. Well, actually,
would you check with your audience again?
You should have a radio show.
Would you check or a magazine?
Or a magazine.
Would you see how does the audience think we're doing? Wrong button?
Let me check. Everybody heard about the bird. No, you're doing great. You're doing great. I know you like. I know. Okay, just for you. Here you go. There you go. He loves hearing that. Okay,
I got to build on that, Lewis. I got to build on it.
Hey, you do the best we can with whatever we got. Well, we're doing great here. So we have about 3 minutes left. Any final thoughts that you can share with my listeners about their feet, how they can use their feet better, how they can get feet if they've lost any, how they can give feet away if they have some extra ones?
Yes, I think if you lost them, look in every drawer. If you have a history of joint problems, include what we've talked about, as much fun as we've had, the fact that the feet many, many times are related to lots of other areas of the body, and you want to pay attention to that. If we see that we're talking about somebody who's got a history of joint problems, or if you know, my mother had, but many times we'll see that grandma's got bunions, the enlarged big toe joint, so's her daughter in her 40s, so's her daughter in her 20s. So many times we'll see you want to be paying attention if you've got problems, and you want to prevent them if you can. So if you're an athlete who's running and jumping in any regard, see sports podiatry. It's a big weapon because you're talking a step quicker, better balance, less chance of injury. And these are the things that the sports doctor pays big attention to.
Well, Dr. Robert Wild, thank you. So, do you have a book or anything like that people can get? Or how do they find you on the web if they want to Google?
Well, they go, it's written out, sportsdoctorradio.com. I have many, many articles, newspaper articles under the title The Sports Doctor, which is my title. There's many magazine articles, and you can listen to over 3 years' worth of radio programs on many, many topics. So that's my book, so far but I'm trying to catch up and get that book done. It will be called The Sports Doctor's In, Lewis.
Well, I'm really. It's going to be called The Sports Doctor's In, Lewis. Thank you for putting my name in your book and your book title. What a guy! I love this guy.
I give him 5%.
There you go. Thank you so much for calling.
It's been a lot of fun. Thanks so much.
You're a great sport, and everybody. I'm being serious now for like once every 3 weeks. If you don't take care of your feet will be false to you.
When your feet hurt, you hurt all over. Invite me back, Lewis.
I will. Thanks a lot for calling.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that was Dr. Robert Weil. Good guy, and did a good job. So sports podiatry, a lot of people have foot problems, they have structural problems, they have jaw problems, they get headaches, they get lower back aches. Maybe you've been to a chiropractor, you've been to an orthopedist, an orthopod, a physiatrist. Maybe you want to give sports podiatry a shot. And if you're not going to do it, then you're going to be a really unhappy and sad person with a lot of foot pain, and you'll be sitting around doing what? You know what you're doing? You'll be just sitting around crying all day.
You say that you love me, and the beautiful